Hey guys, it's Amber here with Gear Up, and in today's video we are continuing on our bug out bag series. We are going to be discussing the importance of having the proper first aid gear and different essential first aid items to have in your bug out bag, where in times of emergency you are ensured that you are squared away. Before I get going, if you haven't already, please hit us with that subscribe button and like this video. It goes a long way showing support for a small business, and you can always order the items we show on these videos at our website at www.gearupfl.com. Thanks, guys. So without further ado, first aid is probably one of the most critical and essential items to have in your bug out bag. It is one of the main reasons that I advise that you get a tactical bag that has the modular webbing. And the reason being is behind me, you'll see these first aid kits. What's great about these, beyond the modular webbing where you can expand, is they actually have spots to slip onto the front of the bag. When it comes to first aid type items, you want to be able to get to them as quickly as possible and being able to identify where exactly they are, because if you're needing first aid stuff, it is most likely because an emergency has taken place. Now, what you put in your first aid kit can vary greatly. Adhesive bandages, sterile products, ibuprofen, scissors. There's a range of type of items. I'll kind of get into some of those that they advise, but getting something basic like this is a good starter for you. What a kit like this has is it gives you kind of all the essential items, from peroxide to bandages to gauze, all the stuff you need, tweezers, sugar packets to help with the low blood sugar. So to start yourself off with something like this is very, very good and wise in my opinion. You're able to kind of put it right on the front and you have your basic stuff. But this isn't going to get you everything. So having this is great. What is also good is it still has room, as you can see, to kind of put some more items that you may need. Now, the first aid items that you put in your pack may vary as well, because if you have certain medication or certain items that you know you personally are going to need or your family will need, those will obviously need to be added into your kit, whether it's certain medications or blood type stuff, so that if something happens and a blood transfusion is necessary, you should be able to have that identified. But I advise that with the morale patches. We'll do a morale patch video down the line. Beyond that, here in our survival room, we have a bunch of great items. The number one addition that I tell most people do, add yourself a tourniquet. Military tourniquet, combat action tourniquet. The tourniquets are great because they will stop, obviously, bleeding in the extremities should you get shot or have a deep wound, which is essential to have. None of these other items are really going to be doing that. The closest you're going to get to that is Israeli bandages, which I don't think I have any out here right now. Israeli bandages are also great items. Tourniquets, Israeli bandages are always high on my list. In addition, I'm going to just kind of go over some of the other great items that we sell here regularly. Conforming gauze is a big one. And staying along the lines of tourniquets, Quick Clot is amazing. So you stuff this in your wound, it'll stop the bleeding temporarily for you, and you place a wrap. It's a great item to add to any bug out bag and any first aid kit, really. But tons of bandages, different elastic bandages. Bleed stop bandages should be high on the list, because at the end of the day, that's really what you're going to try to utilize them for. And then there's other stuff like petroleum gauze dressing. This is a great type item to add. Having a thermometer is a good thing to have if you need to monitor your temperature and make sure that you're not getting overheated and having a fever if you're with people in your party. Beyond that, a lot of this other stuff is basic, but some interesting stuff. We actually just got these in. These ammonia inhalants are ammonia towels. They're inhalants, are great to have. Sting and bite items are also very good to have, especially out in the wild. You never know what is going to come your way. Beyond that, there are a bunch of different sorts of kits. So just to kind of give you an example, like this is a hiker's first aid kit that we carry here. This has elastic bandages, tweezers, scissors, eye pads, knuckle bandages, nitrile gloves, strips. So you get a bunch of different stuff in these items, which are great. If you really want to go all out, the Patrol Trauma Level 2 kit is a great kit. This comes with the tourniquet, the cohesive bandages, Israeli bandages, shears, chest seals. We actually sold a bunch of these to the people out, to some nonprofits that have been sending these specific ones. to Ukraine with what they're dealing with. Also, a basic first aid general purpose kit. This is a good one to kind of have really even in the car. It's a little bit bulky for a first aid kit. I would advise going with a pouch type thing. But this gets you all the basics. So you could always get this and then kind of shuffle around with what you need. This one's good because it has painkillers as well. And another one not talked about a lot is ice packs. You're going to want to have an instant cold pack in here that's easy to go. Ice obviously helps with the swelling. So I highly advise an ice pack. And then when it comes to your tourniquets, you can either put it in there, but you can also have a tourniquet pouch that can slip right onto the back to the front of your backpack. So it's also easy for you to get to in dire need situations. We also carry, and another great one are the IFAKs. These are military grade GP IFAK level 1 and level 2 kits. Quick clot, bandages, dental repair kits. So if you have some experience in the medical field and you're able to kind of contribute in the realm of actually helping people in your party who might be seriously injured, I highly advise that. If your knowledge is very basic, stick to one of these basic first aid kits to just kind of help get you by. And then last, for anyone, I really advise is get yourself some first aid manuals. So if you don't want to read the First Aid for Soldiers manual, which is a great buy, gives you a lot of details and tips here, then you can go with something basic in your kit. I personally I have one of those as well as a survival manual in the kit. Even if I haven't read it all, it's something I can obviously reference. And then like a first aid quick reference guide, this thing is great. So gives you a lot of the basic ideas, basic details and stuff that'll kind of get you by. Great to kind of have around the house and read. Or you can go with something simple like this on first aid and CPR. We actually just got these in stock, which is why this video was a little delayed posting, because I was waiting on all this stuff to get in to kind of showcase it for you guys as I talk about it. Other than that, CPR mask can be advised, an antibiotic, tweezers, obviously your personal information we spoke about, but when it comes to first aid type stuff, get yourself a basic kit. I don't have any medical experience myself, so I've seen enough, and I have a good relationship with our fire department here locally where they've kind of demonstrated some different stuff. But check your local fire departments. A lot of them will put out free training classes on how to stop bleeding and how to utilize tourniquets and do different and basic first aid stuff. So that's good knowledge to have, regardless if you're putting together a bug out bag or not. But do that so you kind of have a basic knowledge, and then get yourself a basic first aid kit. Start with that. The more research you do, the more information you learn, the more people in your party that you might be out hitting a survival situation and having a bug out with, you can enhance that kit. But start with something basic. I advise a Molly first aid kit like the ones I showed, and then obviously a tourniquet are the two great starting points to start with you. And then based on what you're preparing for, you can kind of go, like we have gunshot trauma kits, which is great, but you can go get away with simple like the hiking first aid kit or a camper's first aid kit, which just gets you the basic to kind of survive out on the land if something should happen while you're out there and already regular. Now, if you're preparing for war or potentially having to get shot or serious injuries occurring in your mind, you should probably invest in something like the IFAK kits or a trauma kit, or even like one of these surgical kits if you have these experiences with that. These have the sutures and allow you to kind of do what you need to do in order to sew someone up if they have to. We even have like jungle first aid kits like this. This gets you a lot of the basic stuff as well. So it's really endless. We have a ton of options both in store and online. You can obviously visit us, but you can find a lot of this stuff at the Walmarts and the Walgreens and whatever your local pharmacies are. Some of the basic bandages and gauzes and things like that. So you get more bang for your buck when you buy a pack that has a lot of it in it. The last thing I want to mention is when you are putting this together, it is essential that you do go through this every couple of years, because a lot of these items have expiration dates or they can kind of corrode and start to corrode. So definitely check in when you put it in and see the dates on these items, and replenish this first aid kit every now and then. Another thing is I have a first aid kit in my bug out bag. When we have stuff at home that I may need to use it, I utilize it and then I just replace it so it doesn't go to waste. So you can utilize it at home knowing that you have it in your pack, and then just make it a point to replace what you may have used. So that's really all I got in regards to the first aid kit, I'm no expert when it comes to the medical stuff at all, unfortunately. But I know from speaking to a lot of people, a lot of military veterans, as well as both our police and fire guys, this is a great kit. It comes highly advised, something I have on my pack, probably our best seller. And then having a tourniquet is great. You just need to learn how to utilize it. But there's endless stuff. Something like hand soap also, a great item. You want to be able to sanitize your hand, something you may not think about while out there. So that's another little additional item that I would advise. And that's really all I got. So appreciate you guys watching. Comment below what you think is essential in your first aid kit. We're a community at the end of the day. We're trying to all help each other. I do these videos to try to help stimulate the thought and help advise a lot of people that have started with nothing. So if you have the knowledge and you say, no, you need this, I would obviously also advise this, let us know below. So it's all about us sharing as a community, looking out for each other, and ensuring that in dire need situations, we are able to be prepared and make it through it, which we have a habit of doing as Americans, and how resilient we are as people and as a country. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hit us with that like, comment below, visit us online at www.gearupfl.com, and I hope everybody is having a safe and great year so far. So thank you guys.